Guys, RC Hobby Steve here. Welcome back to another video. I'm here at my workbench, gonna talk a little bit more about my Jeep build here, what's been going on since the last video. So, as you can see, I have the rear bed connected and painted up to the body already. Now, I had to do some tweaking here and there, some minor cuts just to make everything work. Now, I did opt out for lowering the shocks down to the hole where the screw to the link goes in. I did that mod, so I cut the top piece hole where the shock would screw into, and I dropped the shock down couple millimeters down, which gives it the lower drooped look. Now, overall, it works perfectly fine. I feel like I need to work on the suspension a little bit more, but overall the truck drives really well. I did get these fenders off of eBay, and these belong in the front of a Tamiya body, but I ended up using them for the rear. I do not know where I put the other pieces. I think they're in my drawer. Yeah, so they're right here. So these are essentially meant for the rear. As you can see, the cutout for the gas tank part. So there's the other side of the rear, but these ended up working perfectly fine. Since they're rubber, they're nice and flexible, so I was able to flex it over the part that I cut out and drilled the holes and put the screws. So gives it a nice appearance, rather than having just a hole there without a fender flare. So I felt like I needed the fender flare, and it made it look a little better. I do have all my scale accessories here that I need to mount up to the body. I just have them in the trunk for now, and I do have a spare tire here. It's a 1.9 Pitbull Growler tire, at least something that looks similar to my KM3s. And that's another thing I want to talk about. During my test runs of the truck, I had the stock RTR General Grabber tire that the Element Enduro comes with. Now, as soon as these tires got wet, the truck couldn't go anywhere. Like, I got stuck everywhere I went. I couldn't climb certain spots, and I have a video on my Instagram of me trying to climb a spot that I did perfectly fine when the tire was dry, but I drove it through some wet grass, and then I tried it again, because usually I try with wet tires and dry tires, and it just couldn't make it without really pushing it and giving it a lot of bumps. So I went ahead and changed the tire to the infamous KM3s that I pretty much run on all my trucks. I have it on my Class 1 Cherokee and my bigger JK here. So you see the KM3s there, and then that truck is running KM3s as well, the Class 1s. So I decided just to go ahead and throw it on this truck, and lo and behold, it did it multiple times. Wet tire, dry tire, with no issues. The only thing I get is a lot of rub back here, so again, I have to fiddle with the suspension in the rear. The body alone is pretty heavy, including with the rear bed on it, and it kind of droops to the side, which is kind of bothering me a lot. So I have to go to my local hobby store and just buy some stiffer springs. I am running the stock springs with 35 weight front and back. I haven't brought down the adjustment knob on the shocks yet, so that's my next step to do, just to see if it makes any difference. Also, the front, I'm planning on dropping the shock down to the lowermost hole, just to give the truck, just to level it out a little bit better. I'm gonna get some rubbing in the front, but that's okay. I might cut the side fender piece right here, get rid of that, and just have it as a flat fender. And some other stuff. My wife came up with a great idea to cover up the shock hoops that are inside the bed. Just remove this here. She told me to make a box out of styrene and then paint it black, and then add the accessory that my friend Todd Norton printed out for me, and to add it right on top. So this is glued to the bed, as you can see, and it basically covers up the the shock hoops. So can't really tell. I can remove this because it's not really in there. Once I remove that, you can tell my shock hoops are in there with the shock. So that gives it a cool appearance. It's like another accessory box, I would say. I'm gonna add some stickers around it to make it look a little better. But I have some more details on the bed. I'm gonna get the light lenses and some rear lights for this, and I'm gonna toss on some lit LED rock lights for the front and the rear. And the front headlights are all lit LED as well. And I might possibly throw on the Proline light bar that's on my RTR Enduro, and have it on here for more lights. I love my trucks with lots of lights. This Jeep has a bunch of lights, no light bar, but the lights that are on it are super bright, so I don't really need that much. I do need to throw on some rock lights onto this truck though, so that's soon to happen. Still running a Proline plastic front bumper. This is done plenty well. I have plenty of clearance when driving over things, no issue on that. I do have to fix the suspension in the front as well. The reason why I want to drop the shocks in the front is because if I'm going to have some stiffer springs in the front with just a tiny bit of droop, you can tell the truck is a little off leveled. So when it droops down, I want it to be somewhat level, but this is just too much droop. There's no recoil to it, so I want to adjust that a little bit, including there's a lot of weight up front. So there's just some testing and tuning I have to do to make this truck right. But overall, I love where this build has gone. Still rocking the same electronics. The truck runs nice and smooth. One little thing I do want to show you guys is I made my own deadman switch. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video because I do need to remove a screw from the rear bed just to remove the body. And I'm going to explain to you how I did the deadman switch basically. Alright, so basically I went to my local hobby store, and before I continue, I want to give a huge shout out to Manny from Lit LED, who told me how to basically make this because I had no clue how to make this. I was originally going to purchase one of these from PowerShift. Manny told me he makes them, but he didn't have them in stock. I had to wait a little bit, so he went ahead and told me how to make one. So I kind of saved a little bit, but still obviously went to the store and spent some money. So basically it's just two battery plugs. You take either the black or the red wire and connect them to each other. So I opted out for the red wire. So it's a male and a female, and I connected the reds together, and then the blacks go all the way to a female plug. Now your male goes into the female of your battery, and then the other half goes into your ESC. Now once these two are connected, you're not going to have power. What makes your connection is going to be the other half of your plug, which is going to be this piece I made right here. So this is basically a black wire, as you can see there, going on the positive and the negative. And once I plug this in, it makes the full connection, and the truck turns on. Now I never have to take off the body, which is why I screwed in the back to the brace right here on the truck. And I make sure the battery is fully charged, and whenever I need to charge the battery again, I just take the screw out, take the body off, take the battery out, and charge it. If I ever need to switch the battery out, I do the same thing. It's easier to turn off the truck this way instead of having to take all the screws out and the body pins out and blah 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 blah. When I'm not trailing the truck, just unplug this, throw it into this little whatever you call this thing, and that's it. And this will always be in my trunk and my truck bed whenever I need it. And whenever I want to run the truck, plug it back in, turns on, and I'm on the trails again. So just another cool accessory that I have for the build. So my next video would most likely be how I managed to tune the shocks. Right now it's pretty good, but once I add the weight of the body, it kind of sags in weird ways. As you can see, I did fiddle with the tuning knob here in the back and the front, but I still haven't got it dialed. So soon I'm gonna be hitting the hobby store to get some Traxxas springs, because I've used those on my JK over here and they've worked phenomenally good. So I just have to figure out, I have to bring these, the fronts and the rears, and see which weight spring would work best for me. And I have 30 and 35 weight oil, so I can mess with the tuning on that as well. So the next video will just be the tuning of the shocks. I'll probably do a short video of that, and then right after probably just take it out and give you guys its first footage out on the trails with its lights on and all its goodness. So thank you guys for going along with me on this journey, this beautiful build that I've been working on. I do plan on posting more videos of all my other trucks right here, so stay tuned for that. I did get rid of my Gen 8 for purposes I don't want to discuss, but that was a wonderful truck to have. I do plan on getting more trucks in the future, so just stay tuned for all of that. And I want to thank all my subscribers for sticking along with me throughout this long YouTube journey. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, guys.